I was halfway through a pitch at our company retreat in Breckenridge when my phone started buzzing in my jacket pocket. It buzzed once, then twice, then stopped. I ignored it. We were mid-discussion with a brand we'd been chasing for 6 months, and I was leading the presentation. But as soon as the session broke for coffee, I stepped outside and checked my phone. There was one new text from my girlfriend, Amanda. Just a heads up, told people we're taking a breather. Didn't want it to get awkward at the baby shower this weekend. I read it again. Told people. Not gonna tell. Not thinking about it. Not even can we talk? She'd already done it. We'd been together for 2 years. Lived together for 14 months. And she texted to let me know she'd announced a fake relationship break to her family. Because of a baby shower? I didn't text back. I walked straight to the resort bar, sat down, and ordered a double whiskey. The bartender gave me a look. Probably because it was barely past noon. I didn't care. I read the text a third time. She didn't want it to be awkward. And suddenly it clicked. The cousin hosting the baby shower? That was the one who used to date a guy Amanda was hung up on for years. The same guy who just posted last week that he and his fiancée broke up. Amanda had even showed me the post. "Can you believe this?" she said. But she was smiling. She didn't want him thinking she was taken. I grabbed my phone and typed a reply. "Thanks for letting me know. That's it. No fight. No begging. No second guessing." I opened my laptop, pulled up my Facebook page, and changed my relationship status to single, quietly. Then I sat there for a second, sipping my drink, watching some guy in hiking boots spill espresso on his cargo pants. I opened a new tab and started Googling. What's the legal difference between a guest and a tenant in Colorado? Because I already knew she wasn't coming back to my place. I called my landlord the next morning before the second day of training started. Told him I had a question about someone staying with me. He asked, "Is her name on the lease?" I said no. "Does she pay rent?" "No, just utilities." He chuckled. "Then she's a guest. If you want her out, put it in writing." That was all I needed to hear. I finished out the retreat like a professional, smiling, shaking hands, closing the deal, but my mind was already 10 steps ahead. I flew back Saturday morning, landed just after 9, and got to my apartment around 10. Her car wasn't in the lot. Perfect. I walked in, dropped my bag, looked around the apartment like I was seeing it for the first time. It was so obviously hers now. Makeup trays on the bathroom sink, half a closet full of clothes I never touched, little quotes in fake wood frames on every shelf. Choose joy. You are enough. Start each day with a grateful heart. I started with the closet, grabbed a couple boxes from the hallway storage, tossed in her dresses, jeans, that big pink sweater she always stole from me. Moved to the bathroom next, cleared the counter into a shoebox, dumped her drawer into a tote bag. By the time I got to the kitchen, I was tossing things fast. Protein shakes, almond butter, a blender she bought and used once. 3 hours later, I stood in the living room surrounded by 6 boxes, 1 laundry basket, and a trash bag full of knockoff beauty products. Then I called a locksmith. Cost me $180 and a 30-minute wait. But by 2:30, the locks were changed and the key in my hand. I cracked a beer, sat on the couch and looked around. For the first time in months, the apartment didn't feel like hers. Felt like mine again. She came back around 8:30. I heard the car before I saw it. Music blasting, engine too loud for what it was. Then the jingle of keys, a pause, and the metallic rattle of her trying the knob. It didn't turn. A beat of silence. Then knocking. "Aaron?" Her voice was high-pitched, like she was trying to sound playful. "My key's not working." I walked to the door, undid the top lock but kept the chain on. Opened it just a few inches. She blinked at me like she'd seen a ghost. "What's going on?" "You told people we were taking a break," I said. "I'm making it a breakup." She stared, like I'd just spoken another language. "Wait, what?" "No, I didn't mean it like that. I just didn't want to make the baby shower weird." I didn't answer, just looked at her. She tried again. "Can we just talk inside for a minute? I feel like this got blown way out of." "Nope." Her smile dropped. "Aaron, come on. This is ridiculous. You're seriously locking me out? Like I'm some stranger. You are now. She blinked hard, like she was forcing tears. I didn't do anything wrong. I just needed space. That doesn't mean I wanted to break up. Then you should have told me before telling everyone else. She leaned against the doorframe. Please don't do this. You know I've been stressed. You know how much I've had on my plate lately. Yep. And somehow you still had time to plan how to look single at a party. She dropped the act. This is insane. You can't just lock me out. I live here. No. You stayed here. There's a difference. Her voice rose. You're seriously gonna throw me out over a stupid text? I'm not throwing you out. I boxed up your stuff. It's in the living room. You can take it whenever you want. She tried to shove the door. The chain caught, jerking it back. Are you kidding me? She shouted. You think this is normal? You're acting like a psycho. I didn't flinch. You're not coming in. She looked down the hall like she expected someone to step in. Then she glared back at me. This is emotional abuse. I swear to God, Erin, you're gonna regret this. You already made your choice, I said, and shut the door in her face. She screamed something. Maybe a curse, maybe my name, but I walked away. Let her knock. I had nothing left to say. By the time I woke up the next morning, my phone had 17 missed texts and 3 voicemails. Most of them were from numbers I recognized. Her mom, her cousin, her best friend, and Amanda, of course. The messages were all over the place. Real mature Erin. She's heartbroken. You didn't have to be cruel. She didn't mean an actual breakup. You just overreacted. One said, this is emotional abuse and you should be ashamed. I stared at the screen, thumb hovering over delete. Then I stopped on a text from her mom. She's devastated. You blindsided her and left her with nowhere to go. You can't just lock someone out because you're mad. I texted back one line. She announced a break to people without telling me first. I made it permanent. Nothing else. No apologies. No backtracking. Around 11 there was a knock. Not a tap. A bang. I checked the peephole. Amanda and her mom, both standing with crossed arms and that smug, self-righteous look I'd seen 100 times when they ganged up at family dinners. I didn't open the door. Her mom shouted, you can't treat people like this. She has rights. She lived here. I raised my voice just enough to be heard. Then go get a lawyer. Amanda yelled, you're not even giving me a chance to talk. You did all the talking at that baby shower announcement, I said, and walked back to my kitchen. They stayed out there for another 10 minutes, alternating between yelling and trying to guilt-trip me through the door. Eventually, they gave up. I watched them leave through the Ring camera. Around 3, Amanda texted again. You forgot my hairdryer, bracelet box, and the bottle of vitamins in the fridge. I need them. I didn't even ask if she wanted to come alone. I just gave her a time window. You can have 15 minutes. 5 to 5:15. Not 1 minute more. At 4:58, I heard the car pull up. I expected Amanda. I even expected her mom. But I didn't expect 4 of them. Amanda, her mom, her sister Rachel, and her best friend Tessa all marched in like they were filming some staged reality show about saving broken relationships. I held the door open, said, timer starts now, and stepped back. Her mom made a beeline to the boxes like she was raiding a crime scene. Tessa dropped her purse and went straight into lecture mode. Erin, this could have been handled better. You don't just toss someone out of their home. She wasn't on the lease, I said. She was a guest. I told her that. Amanda tried to get close. Can we just talk for 2 minutes? Alone? You've got 13 minutes, I said, pointing to the microwave clock. Use them however you want. Her sister Rachel looked at me like I just kicked a puppy. Erin, please, just don't make this a thing right now. The baby shower's this weekend. Everyone's stressed. Can't you just pause? Keep the peace until after. No. Rachel blinked. What do you mean no? I mean I'm not pretending we're still together to save face at some party. Amanda threw up her hands. I didn't pretend. I didn't even talk to him. I just didn't want questions from my nosy aunt. You didn't want to look taken, I said. Congratulations. You don't. Her mom stepped in. You're being heartless. No, I'm being clear. You all have 10 minutes. Tessa pulled Amanda aside, whispered something, then turned back toward me. We can all tell you're hurting too. No one's saying this isn't hard. But throwing her out like she's trash? That's not love. I crossed my arms. You're right. It's not love. That's why I ended it. Silence. For a few seconds, no one moved. Then Amanda made a scene, started crying, pacing in circles, mumbling about how I didn't even fight for us. Her mom gave me one last glare and said, "You'll regret this." I walked to the front door, opened it wide. "You've got 4 minutes." They all left together. Amanda was the last out, sniffling and dragging the hairdryer box like it weighed 100 pounds. No one said goodbye. I shut the door behind them and locked it. Timer still had 2 minutes left. The next morning, I started getting weird texts again. This time from people I hadn't heard from since Christmas. One of Amanda's old co-workers, a friend from her gym, her cousin Katie. Katie's message was short. "Hey, just confirming you're still coming Saturday? Amanda said you two are working through it." I stared at it for a second, then typed back, "No, I'm not coming, and we're not working through anything." 3 dots popped up, then vanished. No reply. The rest of the week was chaos. Little hits from every direction. Vague Instagram posts, screenshots from mutual friends, and more messages asking, "What's really going on?" Word was getting around, but the version Amanda was spinning wasn't the one that happened. She was telling people we just needed space, that we were figuring things out, that I was just emotional and needed time. Meanwhile, I was blocking anyone who tried to guilt me. Wednesday night, just after 10, I heard knocking again. Not loud, not aggressive, just persistent. I checked the camera. Amanda. I cracked the door and kept the chain on. She looked tired, mascara smudged, hair up in a lazy bun. "Can we please talk?" she asked. "Say what you came to say." She glanced down the hallway, like someone might be watching. "I didn't mean for it to get like this. I just didn't want him." She stopped herself. "I didn't want people at the shower thinking I was locked down." "There it is," I said. "You didn't want your ex thinking you were taken." She flinched like I slapped her. "That's not what I said." "It's exactly what you said. You wanted to look single. Now you are." She stepped closer to the door. "It wasn't like that. I wasn't trying to do anything. I was just curious, I guess. I hadn't seen him in forever. I thought maybe closure." I cut in. She nodded slowly. I laughed once, low. "You wanted to test the waters. Fine. But I'm not a backup plan." She folded her arms. "Don't put words in my mouth. You already said enough. You made a move. I made a decision." Amanda's face dropped. "So that's it? 2 years. And you just cut me out like nothing?" "You cut yourself out the second you lied to everyone about us. You wanted to play single for the weekend? Be my guest. But don't expect me to be waiting when it's over." Her voice got sharp. "You're punishing me because you're insecure." I stayed quiet. "Say something," she snapped. "You think this is mature? Ignoring me? Hiding behind a door like a coward? Still nothing." She threw her arms up. "You are so full of yourself. You think this makes you strong? You're just scared of being vulnerable." I looked her dead in the eye. Done talking. I started to shut the door, but she put her hand on the frame. Then she cracked. "I miss you, Aaron," she said, voice shaking. "I messed up. I see that now. Please, just talk to me." I didn't move. I didn't want to lose you. I just panicked. "Okay?" It was stupid. I was stupid. Still silent. She wiped her face with her sleeve. "I don't want to go to that baby shower alone. I don't want to pretend." "You already are," I said, and closed the door. She stayed there for another minute, sniffling, pacing, whispering to herself. Then I heard her walk down the hall and out the building. I didn't check the camera. Didn't need to. Saturday rolled around, and my feed started lighting up before noon. Pictures from the baby shower, pastel balloons, white tablecloths, Too many cupcakes. Then there she was, Amanda, standing next to her cousin, holding a fake smile like her cheeks hurt. She looked miserable. I almost felt bad. Almost. Every few minutes another picture popped up, her laughing too hard, clutching a mimosa, head tilted just a little too close to some guy. Then I saw him, the ex, the same one she didn't want things to be awkward around. I shut the app. Sunday morning, I woke up to a new message request on Instagram. A woman named Brianna. Profile pic. Engagement ring and the same guy's arm. Her message hit like a hammer. Hey, I'm the ex's fiancé. I thought you should know what happened yesterday. I kept reading. Your ex was all over him, hugging him, telling him she regrets breaking up, saying you weren't the one she really wanted. Then she followed me into the bathroom crying about how she made a mistake. I don't know what she's trying to do, but it was a mess. I stared at my phone, jaw tight. By noon, her cousin posted a story. Some people can't let go. What a mess today was. And that was that. The fallout started rolling in again. Texts from mutual friends, some accusing me of making her spiral, others apologizing for believing her side. I didn't respond to any of them. I just blocked her number. That night, for the first time in weeks, I actually slept easy. Until Monday, knocking again. Not angry this time. Slow, steady, like she was waiting me out. I didn't move, didn't check the camera. Just sat on the couch, staring at the TV with the volume muted. 5 minutes passed, then 10. Then I checked. She was sitting on the hallway floor outside my door, back against the wall, hoodie up, like she lived there. I muted my phone, hoping she'd give up, but she didn't move. After 45 minutes, I'd had enough. I called the non-emergency line, told them my ex was outside, refusing to leave. The officer on the phone asked, "Is she threatening you?" "No, just won't leave." They sent a patrol car anyway. When the cops showed up, I heard them through the door. One of them asked her name, told her she needed to leave the property. She argued, saying, "He can't just throw people away like trash." Her voice cracked halfway through it. The cop stayed calm. "Ma'am, he's asked you to leave. You can't sit outside someone's apartment like this." I listened to her breathing turn ragged, like she was holding back tears. Then came the shuffle of her standing up, the scrape of her shoes against the carpet, the sound of her walking away. Silence again. When the hallway camera caught the door closing behind her, I finally exhaled. I didn't look out the peephole, didn't check her profile, didn't care. Whatever she thought she was holding on to, it was gone. Tuesday morning, I was halfway through emails when my phone buzzed with a Facebook notification. "You've been tagged in a post." I clicked it before I could stop myself. There she was, Amanda, posting a 5-paragraph rant to her wall. It started with, "I don't usually post personal stuff, but," which is how you know someone's about to unload drama. She wrote that I'd abandoned her during a hard time, that she was between jobs, emotionally struggling, and I locked her out of her home. She even threw in that I'd made her homeless. It was packed with just enough truth to sound believable if you didn't know the story. Then came the comments, her friends and relatives chiming in like they were part of a jury. "You deserve better. Men like that don't know what love is. Stay strong, girl." I didn't comment, didn't react. But then, right in the middle of the sympathy parade, her cousin Katie commented, "That's not how I heard it." The thread went dead for about 2 minutes. Then, one by one, the supportive comments started disappearing. And about an hour later, so did the post. By then, I'd already taken screenshots. Around lunch, Tessa, her best friend, texted me. "She's not doing well. She's spiraling and blaming you for everything." I replied, "If she's threatening self-harm, call someone trained to help. I'm not that person." Tessa tried again. "You could just talk to her, Aaron. Help calm her down." I already did, through a locked door. No response after that. That night, I made sure the new locks were double-latched and checked my Ring notifications before bed. The hallway was empty. But the next morning, just after 7, my phone buzzed again, motion detected. I opened the app and there she was, crouched by my front door, fumbling with something in her hand. An old key. She tried the top lock, then the bottom, turning it over and over like maybe persistence could change metal. Her hair was a mess, sweatshirt hanging off one shoulder, barefoot on the hallway carpet. She looked nothing like the version she tried to sell online. I watched from the couch as she leaned closer to the doorbell camera, whispering, "Come on, Aaron. Just let me in, please." Then she knocked. Soft at first, then louder. I didn't move. After the third knock, she said, "I just need to get some stuff. That's all." Her stuff was long gone. I'd boxed it, bagged it, and handed it over. There was nothing left here for her. When she started crying, I called the cops again. Same routine, non-emergency line, calm voice, told them she was back trying to get in. 15 minutes later, 2 officers showed up. I watched the whole thing through the camera feed. One talking to her, the other looking at the doorbell footage I'd pulled up on my phone. The officer's voice was firm. "Ma'am, you've been told before not to come back here. You can't keep showing up uninvited." She tried playing the victim. "He's lying. He stole my things. I'm just trying to talk." "Your belongings were returned," the cop said. "He doesn't want contact. You need to leave." Amanda's voice cracked. "So that's it? You're just going to take his side?" The cop didn't budge. "If you come back again, you could be arrested. Do you understand?" She looked at the camera like she knew I was watching. "You think this is over, Aaron? You can't just erase people like this." Then she turned and stormed down the hall, barefoot and furious. The cop knocked once to confirm I was safe, then left. When the hallway was finally quiet again, I saved the ring footage to my phone. I didn't know it yet, but I'd need it soon. That same night, just after 9, I got a text from a number I didn't recognize. "It's me. I'm not stalking you. I was just trying to talk. You won't answer anything." I didn't bother asking how she got another number. I just typed back, "Trying to break in is illegal. Don't message me again." Blocked it. The quiet only lasted 3 days. Thursday morning, I stepped out of my building to grab a coffee, and a man in a blazer handed me a thick white envelope. "Are you Aaron? Last name?" I nodded. "You've been served." I opened the packet on the sidewalk, right there in front of the coffee shop, flipping through page after page of total bullshit. Amanda was trying to sue me. The claim: illegal eviction, emotional distress, and trauma caused by abrupt removal from cohabitated space. She wanted $18,000 in damages and a formal apology in writing. I almost laughed. Instead, I drove straight to my buddy Travis's office. He's a real estate attorney and knows landlord-tenant law cold. I dropped the papers on his desk. He read 2 pages and started laughing for real. "She seriously filed this?" He flipped through a few more. "This is garbage. You're not even in a state where that'd apply. She wasn't on the lease. Never paid rent. You followed the law." "She said I made her homeless." I said. "Homeless?" "She went to a baby shower in full makeup 3 days later." He handed me the packet back. "You want this shut down? File a restraining order. Do it now. Make it clean." That night, I started the paperwork. Took half a day to get the documents submitted. 2 days later, I was standing in a courtroom across from her. She was in a black dress, hair done like it was Sunday church, eyes already red before we started. Her mom sat beside her, arms folded, mouth twisted like she smelled garbage. My name got called, and I stepped up with everything: ring footage, text messages, screenshots of her posts and threats, even the cop reports. The judge barely asked me 2 questions. "Did she ever live here legally?" "No, Your Honor. She was a guest. Her name's nowhere on my lease." He turned to Amanda. "Did he ever give you written notice asking you to leave?" She hesitated. "No. But I was emotionally." "I've reviewed the documentation." The judge cut her off. "Based on the evidence provided, doorbell footage, police intervention, and clear communication to cease contact, I'm granting a 1-year protection order." Amanda's face cracked like glass. She gasped, covered her mouth, started crying. Her mom jumped up and shouted, "This is unfair. He used you. You're punishing her for loving someone." The bailiff was already halfway across the room. "Ma'am, you need to leave." Her mom tried again. "He ruined her life." "No, ma'am," the bailiff said. "You can't speak to the petitioner. Let's go." They were walked out together. Amanda still sobbing, her mom muttering under her breath the whole way down the hall. I stood there for a second, holding the copy of the order, just breathing. Outside the courthouse, the air felt cold even with the sun out. I pulled out my phone and deleted her number from my blocked list, just to make room. Because at that point, I knew it wasn't over. Not yet. But now, at least it was legal. I was still in the courthouse parking lot, engine running, when my phone lit up with a call from a number I didn't recognize. I almost let it go to voicemail, but something told me to pick up. "Hello." A woman's voice answered. Calm. Direct. "Hi. Is this Aaron?" "Yeah. This is Brianna. I'm the one who messaged you after the baby shower." My grip on the wheel tightened. "Right? What's going on?" "She tried to contact him again," she said. "Left a note on his windshield at work and DM'd him from a different account." "You serious?" "Dead serious," she said. "We filed for our own restraining order this morning." I let out a low whistle. "Good move. I just wanted to say thanks," she added. "If you hadn't given us a heads up, we wouldn't have seen this coming." "No problem." She hung up. I sat there for a second, just staring at the dashboard. That was 2 restraining orders in 1 week. By that afternoon, I had a message waiting from her sister Rachel. "Hey, I'm being polite here. Since this all started with you, you should help cover the cost of the photo edits. The red eyes in every picture ruined the shower. The edits cost $900. You can Venmo me." I laughed out loud. I replied, "I wasn't even at the shower." She came back fast. "You're the reason it turned into a disaster. Your timing was selfish. You humiliated her." "She humiliated herself," I said. She shot back, "You're an emotional terrorist. I hope someday someone does this to you." I blocked her. Word started spreading. Not from me, just natural fallout. People started putting the puzzle together. A cousin posted something vague about fake victims. Another one untagged Amanda from the baby shower album entirely. Her friend Jen unfollowed me. Then 2 days later refollowed with a DM. "Wow, I didn't know everything. I'm sorry I came at you before." I didn't reply. A few days passed. No drama. No cops. No door knocks. Then Tessa messaged again. "She's not doing well. Just thought you should know." I waited. "She cries every night. Won't eat. Her mom's thinking about getting her into therapy." I finally replied. "Good. She needs it." Tessa pushed one more time. "She's not the villain you think she is. People make mistakes." "She made a series of them," I wrote, "and dragged everyone down with her." No reply after that. By the end of the week, most of her crew had either gone quiet or disappeared altogether. Nobody was defending her anymore. Nobody was pushing for some miracle reunion. And for the first time in a while, it finally felt like the web she spun around herself was starting to fall apart. She lit the fire. I just refused to burn with it. A month later, the noise finally died down. No more texts. No surprise knock at the door. No mutual friends trying to guilt me. Just quiet. My apartment felt like mine again. Clean, simple, peaceful. No fake quotes on the wall. No passive-aggressive sticky notes on the fridge. Just space I could breathe in. Work picked up, too. The pitch from the retreat landed. We closed the deal, and my manager surprised me with a bonus. Small, but enough to make me feel like everything I'd held together was finally paying off. That weekend, a buddy invited me to a backyard barbecue. I almost skipped it. I was tired, still burned out from all the Amanda drama, but I went anyway. That's where I met Lindsay. She wasn't flashy or overly charming. Just chill. Wore jeans and a faded hoodie. No fake voice. No weird energy. She ran her own online retail business and lived alone. We got to talking while waiting for grilled corn, and it clicked fast. We ended up going out for coffee the next day. Then a proper dinner a few nights later. On the second date, we sat in her car after eating, parked outside my building, just talking. She looked at me and asked, "So, What happened with your ex? I didn't sugarcoat it. I told her everything. The text at the retreat. The fake breakup lie. Her trying to get back in when it blew up in her face. The court. The restraining order. All of it. She listened. Didn't interrupt. Didn't look shocked. Just nodded slowly when I finished. Then she said, so she wanted to look single around an ex, then came back when it didn't work? Yep. Lindsay smiled. Good. You stood your ground. We're going out again this weekend. For anyone wondering if I regret how I handled it? No, not even a little. If someone makes big decisions about your relationship without asking you first, they've already decided you don't matter. She wanted to pretend she was single, so I helped her make it real.